Good morning, welcome to another Andrew Thrills vlog. This is the second day of my stay at the Disneyland Resort in Paris. And today we're in the movies park and we're actually enjoying some of the extra time hours that you get as a hotel guest. So I'm going to get on one of the rides I've not been on yet, which has been built since the last time I was here, which is the Ratatouille ride. And after that I'll probably try and get on Crush's Coaster because that gets a massive queue usually during the day. It goes up to like 1.5 hours sometimes, 70 minutes at least. So I'll get on that as well. So get those two rides out of the way and then maybe see if there's something else in this park I'll do before venturing onto the main park, of course, later on today. So hope you join me for this entire vlog. A couple of rides here and then onto the Disneyland park later on.
Ok, et maintenant, sautez les cases et accrochez-vous.
Yeah, Crush's Coaster is good fun. It's surprisingly smooth. Probably the smoothest coaster out of all of them I've done so far. So yeah, good fun. Try and get on Ratatouille now. So Ratatouille, really good trackless dark ride. It's really well done. The theming is awesome, the building is great. The theming goes all around the square, including this restaurant, this Chez Remy. And you actually, where you get out is where the restaurant is. I'll include some footage probably before you saw this. But it's yeah, it's just really well done. I really like the ride. It's always mostly with screens, but there's some props, and then the computer obviously controls where the little train, the car goes to. Of course, it's really clever how it's done. I really enjoyed it, and it's a good use of the French and English language, which is originally in that film, of course. So it's nothing like some of these other rides where they're completely in French. So it's, you know, it's half French, half English, and I think that's a really good mixture. Everyone can enjoy that and kind of understand what's going on. And a nice little story, so it replays the movie, the movie is great, one of my favourite Disney movies. Yeah, so it was awesome. It's a great addition to the park. It's the first time I've been to Walt Disney Studios since this has opened. I think it opened a couple of years ago, I'm quite sure. 2016 maybe, 15. But yeah, it's a really good ride. The queue was not bad, only about 10-15 minutes. Crush's Coaster, surprisingly, I think it's the smoothest roller coaster I've done so far, and it's the only one that's not a Vekoma or Intamin. So I don't know if that says much. It's a motor spinning coaster, and yeah, the smoothness really stood out. It just felt like it was brand new. And of course, it is one of the newer coasters, but it's really good. The only thing is, maybe the park could have done with 2 tracks because it gets very busy. You know, it's one of those rides that always has a queue, even on quiet days. And you can see it here. I mean, Ratatouille 15 minutes, Crush's Coaster's already on over 30 minutes, I believe, and that's, you know, during the hotel guests only opening time. So it's astonishing. But anyway, this is a great addition to the park, and I'm sure I'll give it a couple of re-rides this week, the couple of days I'm here. Yeah, great. Superb. Yeah, I went on Slinky Dog zigzag spin, which is alright. It's like a Matterhorn super bobsled ride, whatever you want to call it. And behind there you got a Toy Story Soldier's parachute drop. This whole area was built in 2010, this Toy Story Playland, and they're mostly just smaller rides, but that was alright. It's quite a light super bob. It's not extreme. It doesn't throw you out the seats really. But like I said in yesterday's vlog, the RC Racer is definitely closed for maintenance. So I'm glad I got on there. The super bob, the zigzag spin ride, actually looks like it's a little roller coaster if you look at the track on the footage. But I don't think you can really count it as a roller coaster credit. It doesn't show up on the RCDB as that. With regards to the Ratatouille ride, when I looked that up, it said it was opened in 2014, so it's actually older than I thought. So it's 5 years old, and it cost them a whopping $270 million to build, which I assume is that entire area, which is astonishing. It's a lot of money, but it's surprising the amount of money they spend, but you know, you only get one ride out of that. Whereas, I mean, that can be a budget for an entire theme park. I mean, that ride is amazing, the theming is amazing, and that's where all the money goes, I think. But it's one of those things that I think, when I was in the park yesterday, Disneyland Park, that's not really seen that much development. And it's almost like, well, maybe some of that money could have been used to make a sort of light themed wooden coaster. I really think that would go down well. Yeah, it's just something they don't do. Disney hasn't got any wooden coasters, as far as I'm aware, around the world, and it's quite surprising. I think it's a shame, because I think that wooden coasters, as long as they are maintained, they can last 100 years. And I really think that's something that Disney should consider, especially for this park, because the Disneyland Park itself has just not seen a lot of stuff added, whereas the Walt Disney Studios Park obviously has, but not really big rides, except for Ratatouille in the last 10 years. So anyway, I'll try and get on this parachute drop ride, see if it's any good. It's just a slight sort of drop tower-ish kind of ride with suspended cables, which is quite cool. It's a good idea. Yeah, having a good time. Great morning here in the Walt Disney Studios Park, and it's good getting on some rides I've never been on before. Even though not the biggest, you know, the RC Racer and the Bob, the zigzag spin ride, and of course the parachute drop. There's word that there's another ride coming, another sort of spinny ride in this Toy Story Playland that's already open in other places around the world in Disney parks. So that'll be an addition, which is good, because this park always needed more rides, to be fair. So, parachute drop next. Yeah, Toy Story parachute drop, Toy Soldiers parachute drop, whatever the name is. It's quite decent. It's all right. You know, it's not extreme or anything, but it's a nice little drop. I think you get 4 drops, 3 sort of quick drops in succession, and then it waits up there a little bit longer for the last drop, which is quite nice. You get seat belts and the restraint. It's a little bit over the top maybe for that kind of ride, but it's to keep kids safe, I guess. So that's all right. Yeah, so done all the rides here in the Toy Story Playland. Now I'm gonna see what I can get on next. Maybe back on Tower of Terror or something like that. I'll have a look around.
Oh, tu veux pas laisser ta casquette à ta sœur?
So yeah, just saw that the stunt show, the Motors Action Camera, whatever it's called, so that was on 11:30. So yeah, they've changed the walkway to get there because of all the development going on. So you have to walk around this area that's really for this tram tour, this path. So yeah, that's interesting seeing all the side of the park, but it takes a lot longer to get there now. I just showed you the highlights of that show. It's pretty much exactly the same as 10 years ago from what I remember. In the early days they had some volunteers to do some scenes, and it was that was probably a bit more fun if you were involved in that, certainly. But yeah, it's pretty much the same. It closed 3 years ago. I was just looking up in Florida. No idea if it's going to last year, as the park is moving away really from the sort of movie educational side of things and much more just the ride. So who knows? But it was okay. It was quite good stunts, to be fair, so I just showed you the highlights. Now I have to walk all the way around and see if I can get on another ride or so. Of course, one of the other movie educational rides is the tram tour, but they closed that in the Florida park as well, so still here, so maybe get on that just one time whilst I'm here. It might be the last time, because I'm sure that when they're building the Marvel and Frozen lands and Star Wars lands here, I don't think it's gonna be around for much longer. Who knows? Let's have a look.
like the set you see here from the dinosaur production Dinotopia.
Le scénario décrivait une ville féerique située au bord d'une somptueuse cascade. La voilà. Oui, la voilà. Ceci n'est que la partie du décor dont on a eu besoin pour filmer les acteurs. Et tout le côté spectaculaire a été ensuite ajouté par des artistes en la matière avec des ordinateurs.
They only build what they need for the actors, but to make this mythical city even more spectacular, the filmmakers brought in visual effects artists armed only with imagination.
Too late, we've triggered the effect!
Ça décoiffe, hein? Eh bien, imaginez ça multiplié par 17 navires de guerre. Pas sur le maquillage, juste un petit lustrage de temps en temps.
Do you recognize those famous movie stars? They're great to work with. They never steal your scenes, they follow direction, and they don't need makeup. Just a little bit of wax. The beauty of a backlot is that you can turn a corner and be anywhere. London, for example. But London, as you've never seen it before, scorched by dragons.
On a préféré utiliser un studio plutôt qu'endommager tout un quartier de Londres par les flammes que lancent de vrais dragons. Puis les dragons peuvent être des créatures si capricieuses.
So the studio tram tour, yeah, it was never amazing, and of course the reason is it's not a real studio. So it's just a recreation of those kinds of tours that you get in Universal. I did that many years ago, more than 20 years ago. The one in California, Universal Studios, and that is a great tram tour, of course, because you get to see the backlot that was used in a lot of movies such as Back to the Future, and that's really interesting to see. I have to say that the bit that is very good in there is that canyon kind of explosion thing with the truck and all the water, as I've shown you, and that's really well done. It's a really nice effect, but the tour doesn't really offer a lot of other things. There's a couple of static props, and then of course you get that sort of dragon thing with the fire at the end with Scorched London. That looks cool. One thing I did notice is that originally the tour took you past the actual wardrobe department. I think it's for the park, so you saw them all working on costumes for the park. That's no longer there, because I think that used to be, that building might still be there, but it's next to where Toy Story Land is, or it's in its place, whatever happened there. But the tour doesn't actually take you there, but the tour does mention the wardrobe department, so that's very strange. It's a bit odd. And also on the tour itself, you've got used to be Famke Janssen, who used to be presenting alongside of Jeremy Irons, and she's been erased, I think, from the footage. And I think it's still the same footage of Jeremy Irons. I don't think there's any new stuff, but Famke Janssen has been erased, and this French, I think it's a French actress, she's been added in, so, which is fair enough. But I don't think anything's going to happen with this tram tour for the next couple of years, probably, and I have my suspicions that it'll just disappear as soon as the Frozen Land is finished, or when it's nearing completion. And they're probably just keeping the tram tour in the meantime, just for the sake of having another ride, high capacity ride, really. Although it slowed down a little bit, because I did see at least one tram, maybe even two, that were just stationary there, so it takes a little bit long to start a 5-minute queue. It used to be a lot quicker to get on. It's okay. I mean, it's something interesting to see if you've never seen it, but like I said, it's definitely going to go, I would imagine, in a couple of years' time when Frozen Land is ready, or Star Wars. There was some construction work going on there behind the tram tour, so they're definitely busy with those lands already. And anyway, time for something to eat, and then get on a couple more rides in this park, and I will make my way to the main Disneyland park this afternoon. So there's a Marvel stage area here. This is kind of new, this stuff, since the last time I was here, which is 10 years ago. And so you can see a stage show here, which I don't know if I'll catch it, probably at some point. They were showing you some footage of it, like characters from Guardians of the Galaxy and all that. But anyway, I had something to eat, and now making my way to Rock and Roller Coaster once again, and then maybe do the Tower of Terror, and then pretty much done everything in the park. There's still the new stage show that's in the Magique Theatre that I want to see. It's the last time I was here, it was still on Magique, and that was an awesome show. I love that with the lighting. It was really well done. But I've heard that the new show is really good. I've seen bits and pieces of it on Theme Park Worldwide a couple of weeks ago, I think. It looks really good. So yeah, this all this construction here where the Armageddon ride used to be, and that's going to be a dark ride, I believe, Spider-Man, which sounds good, but I'm personally more interested in the Frozen Land. Maybe Star Wars a little bit, but Marvel, I don't know. If they're just going to put out a new theme on the Rock and Roller Coaster, I don't know about that. like I said yesterday, I thought it was kind of bumpy, so I think it needs more than just, you know, a new theme and effects and a new soundtrack. I think it needs a new train if it really is going to last for another 25 years, I would have thought. But, well, obviously that's 15 years, 17 years has been out. So, it'll be interesting to go to Walibi, Holland, where I was possibly going to go in a month's time for Untamed, new roller coaster, and seeing what the state of platform 13 is like, because it's basically the same roller coaster, same layout. But of course, we had the Rock and Roller Coaster in Florida, so the original track over there is even older. But having seen some footage of that, I can't say that that looks any better. I think this is the better version of Rock and Roller Coaster, so I think it's very sad that it's going. But yeah, it is what it is. Aerosmith is not very popular anymore with the young people, so. So, pretty much a front row ride, second row ride on the Rock and Roller Coaster. Yeah, it's pretty good, but like I said, it's definitely bumpy. Not so bad at the front. I was in the middle yesterday. I think what's a shame there, what it was focusing on is that all the merch for Rock and Roller Coaster merchandise is gone. It's no longer there. There's nothing, not even a t-shirt or a hat and nothing. So I think that's a real shame, because I was actually interested in maybe buying something that would have been a nice bit of memorabilia of the existence of this ride, but nothing. I had a look in the other shops as well, and it doesn't seem to be anything that's related to Rock and Roller Coaster. So all the merch is gone already in preparation of the reskin or retheme of that ride, and it'll be interesting to see how much they change, if they'll get some new trains on it, which I would imagine, you know, because obviously the trains, they kind of look like cars, so they'll definitely change the shell, but whether they'll actually be new trains, I don't know. I would have thought so, because I think the carriage I was in, the speakers didn't seem to be that great, so I don't know if there's some issues there, or it's just getting a little bit tired, who knows. But anyway, probably try and get on Tower of Terror, like I said, and then maybe make my way to the other park for the afternoon. I might have to nip back to the hotel, which you can do with the buses just down at the Disney hotels, just to get another memory card for the GoPro. I've been filming a bit more than I thought today, with filming a lot of the tram tour and the car show, stunt show. But anyway, I was probably enjoying my day here today a little bit more than yesterday, to be fair. Obviously with the travel, it's a bit heavy, but it's came with the train, which is the easiest thing to do. I used to drive to Disneyland 15 years ago. I did that a couple of times from Holland, and it's a little bit far, to be fair. It's like 6 hours, 5-6 hours. So train is a comfortable way to come to Disneyland. Gets you straight into the entrance of the parks. You can get the train with the Eurostar from London, of course, or the Thalys from Amsterdam, Brussels, Rotterdam as well. Stops. And there's some connections there from Germany even. So there's lots of ways of coming here with the train, and I definitely recommend it. Not expensive at all from Holland either. It's only about 50 euros for one journey, and that got me first class. You don't get a meal. There's an even better class for that, but I don't think that's worth it. But first class, seats are nice. It's a comfortable way to travel, but with any travel you still get a little bit tired with the amount of preparation and getting up early. The train left at 7 7 o'clock yesterday morning. So that still gets you in the park well before 12 o'clock, so you still got the majority of the day. But yeah, anyway, Tower of Terror next.
And then what I see during the day, if I see something scary, I just play that through my head. That's what I'm going to see. And then I can't sleep. So I got a little bit of a brain this time.
Excellent ride on Twilight Zone, Tower of Terror. It's awesome. It was in English, so absolutely love that. It's such a good ride. I think it seems kind of random how it drops. It doesn't seem to be the same ride experience every time, but it's superb. So I'm going to leave the park now and then come back out to the Disneyland Park later on. Yeah, fantastic morning and early afternoon here in the Studios Park. So I'll catch you in a minute from the Disneyland Park, where I'll spend the rest of the evening. So, back in the Disneyland Park, and after a meal, a bit of a break back at the hotel, and gonna go on Indiana Jones. Walking around some of the unused queue line for Indiana Jones these days, and yeah, I went for a meal at Hakuna Matata, which is a restaurant in Adventureland. It was alright. I just had some meatballs and rice and some kind of tomato sauce, and it's okay. I'd rate it maybe a 7 out of 10. It wasn't fantastic, but it's alright. A little bit pricey, of course, as everything costs in Disneyland. It was about 14 euros, but got a big drink with it, to be fair, and it's alright for now. And see if we can do a couple of rides this evening. Probably won't stay till the fireworks. Might do that again tomorrow. And yeah, Indiana Jones first. See what it's like. Just like yesterday, I had another back row ride on Indiana Jones and the Temple of Peril. It's okay. It's a bit, like I said, it's a bit rough. Yesterday I noticed that as well. Just as it's going around the track, it just feels like a bit of sort of grinding almost, but I don't know. Just can't remember that being like that when I used to go on this ride, but it's 10 years ago. Anyway, let's see if we can do another couple of rides before the park closes. Still got a couple of hours.
Please keep your hands and arms inside the boat and remain seated until you are asked to disembark.
It just went on, It's a Small World. It's one of those rides I do pretty much every time I come to Disneyland. The last time I was on it again was 10 years ago probably. It's still great, I mean the music stays in your head forever. What's now the Princess Pavilion, I have no idea when this changed, but I think it's a while ago. You used to actually go up that ramp and go into this building as the exit of It's a Small World, and there was some displays in there and things going on. Vaguely remember that there was just like sort of little miniatures you could look at and things like that. And at one point it was sponsored, I think, by EDF, the energy company, I believe. Could be wrong, could look that up. But anyway, that was a long time ago. But it's now, I think, a meeting point for obviously kids meeting like the princesses. Some observations about Fantasyland when I was walking up to this ride from the Indiana Jones The Adventureland place. The Dumbo ride is closed, which seems bizarre timing considering that the movie just came, the live action version of Dumbo just came out 2 months ago, something like that. So it seems bizarre timing to me. And then I noticed that on this little ride that's used to be behind the windmill on the way. There's just like kiosks, like food sellers, retailers underneath in the windmill. But behind there was a sort of bucket Ferris wheel, small one. The buckets have finally been removed. You can still see the queue lines that are there, but yeah, that's all gone now. I never ever rid that, even when I was very young when I came here. But it's one of those things that you just see, the ride was out of use for years, and then they finally removed the buckets. The water's very low in this area. Anyway, see if we can get on another couple of rides, maybe in Discovery Lands. And then, yeah, that'll be it for tonight probably.
All right, you Junior Space Rangers, listen up. Zurg is using the stolen battery cells to energize his secret weapon. Our mission is to find his robots and his secret weapon and blast them. Green Squadron will retrieve the power cells, while the rest of you concentrate on those robots. You'll rendezvous at Planet C. I will remain here at Star Command to coordinate the mission. Battle stations, report to the flight deck for immediate launch. To infinity and beyond.
Attention.
So I'm gonna try Star Tours again. See if it's better than yesterday. I don't know. Yeah, I had a ride there on Buzz Lightyear, which is always a lot of fun. I think it's been here for quite a while, but it's a bit crazy that it's not in Toy Story Land, of course, and Star Tours is not going to be in the Star Wars Land in the Walt Disney Studios. So a bit bizarre, that whole setup. This is eventually going to be the case. With Buzz Lightyear, I totally forgot that you can control the pods with the joystick. So, because I was filming with the left hand and trying to shoot with the right, trying to get a decent score. No idea if you actually get a better score if you turn the pods around. Might not make much difference. But anyway, Star Tours. Curious to see if it's intermixed with different scenes or if you get exactly the same video. I have no idea. I would imagine that they can change the videos in between. So Star Tours is only a 5-minute queue, which is great. Surprised to see Indiana Jones on a sort of 10-15 minute queue. Usually that goes to 0, like yesterday was walk-on. But anyway, we'll see if Star Tours has got something better to offer than yesterday. I missed the baggage area, handling area that's just after this room here. Used to be around the corner here, but yeah, it is what it is, you know. Rides change, queue lines change, and sometimes for the best, sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worst. But yeah, let's have a go. See if we see something different on Star Tours. The adventure continues. Yeah, so I had another go on Star Tours, which was okay. It's exactly the same clip that they show you. It's a 5-6 minute movie. But the only thing that was different was that there was a hologram of Maz Kanata instead of Poe Dameron. That was the only thing that I noticed was different in there. It's definitely not as good as the original one, in my opinion. That really had this feeling of that you were going to go on a holiday somewhere and it sort of, you ended up in trouble. Whereas in this video, I'd have approached it. It's as if I think the story is that they recognize an true imposter on the ship, so that explains it. And of course, C-3PO is commanding the spaceship, the Star Tours speeder, the Star Speeder, whatever they call it, Star Speeder 1000. But I thought the original was better because it just seemed like it was a sort of cocky little robot pilot that went crazy, and that's why we went on this journey, you know. And it was just at the end, there was a lot more humor in it at the end because the video sort of ended it as if the pilot landed and almost crashed into this fuel truck. So I missed a lot of that. But anyway, it is what it is. So, gonna have a cheeky little ride on Big Thunder Mountain before the park closes. And that'll be the last ride of today, I think.
I know.
Right, just wrapping up this vlog. Last little ride on Big Thunder Mountain. It's over there. It looks amazing at dusk. Yeah, I felt a little bit smoother this time, so maybe it's a different train, just a better train. Who knows? But it's a great ride. I love the last bit in the tunnel when it comes back to mainland from the islands. It's really fast. It's the best bit, and it's actually best if you ride it near the back. I was on the second to last carriage. I'll try and get a POV, I think, at some point, hopefully. But you have to be kind of careful, they don't spoil you. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this vlog. So I had a couple of rides this evening in a Disneyland park after spending most of this morning and early afternoon in Walt Disney Studios. And yeah, Hyperspace Mountain was closed on the way over here, I noticed, so couldn't go on that in Discoveryland, but that was alright. Did Star Tours and Buzz Lightyear. And sure I'll get an opportunity to ride Hyperspace Mountain again this week. And loads of other re-rides. Try and do some of the rides I've missed out in Fantasyland. And yeah, that'll be that. So hope you enjoyed watching this vlog, and please like and comment if you did. And I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.